Welcome to the Livfiit Listens podcast, a safe space of growth, personal development, and overall wellness with your host, Olivia Catania. Diving into the realms of all things health, conscious living, mental expansion, and much more, this podcast is designed to help you evolve into your best self and live fit. Let's get into the show. One, action. Well. Welcome back to another episode. Welcome to episode 79 of the Livfiit Listens podcast. Could you imagine if you weren't an avid listener and this is your first one listening to me and you're like, wait a second, I was not expecting her to be from the South? That is, if that was a convincing enough Southern accent. Maybe I'm giving myself too much credit right now. But anyways, today we're on episode 79. Like I said, in every episode, I start with my gratitude. So for today, I'm feeling very thankful that I just have been feeling good. I've been feeling very happy. And specifically, I've been feeling very motivated more than anything. I feel like I have my systems in place, and I feel like I've had such a forward flow and forward motion with work. I've been super forward focused, and I feel like I've been making good progress on things. I've finally have been starting projects that I've wanted to start for so long, which I kind of always knew that I would actually sit down and do them when it felt right, because I very much so had that personality where when I start something and if I'm actually stoked on something, I will start it and not stop till it's finished. I'll be super focused on it. I'm not really someone to fall off it, but it's one of those things, if I'm not super stoked on it, I won't really feel called to start it in the first place, And so I feel like both of these projects that I'm finally starting to break into were things that I just knew I would have to start them when I really was feeling like the timing was right, because I knew that they would take a lot of discipline and time to be able to finish the project. So I just have been feeling really good. Whenever I feel very on with my workflow, I feel very on just overall in life. I think because my lane of work is very interesting. A lot of this work is just kind of my self-expression. And so it's kind of inevitable that when I'm on top of my work stuff, I'm on top of my healthy habits and taking care of myself and all that sort of stuff. And so I feel like it all flows into one, and I'm someone who loves to work. I'm lucky that my work is something that's fun for me and that I'm passionate about as well. But I've always liked feeling like I'm making progress in things and being organized and all that sort of stuff. So I feel like when I'm feeling good about my work, I feel good about so many other areas in my life. And I just feel like I'm finally approaching kind of the dynamic that I've had with socials and with you guys and with my community that I had in 2021. And that's when I felt kind of the most fulfilled with what I was doing. So it feels good to kind of be circling back and creeping up into that lane again. So anyways, for this episode, I'm also very excited to bring this to you because this just hit me yesterday. This is actually inspired by another yoga class. And I was there yesterday morning. There's outside yoga every Saturday. It's free in my town. Unfortunately, that was the last class of the summer, which is freaking making me a little bit sad. I'm not anti-fall. I understand why people like fall, but I'm a summer baby through and through. And I can tell that the air has been changing here, and I can smell fall in the air. I can smell it in the morning. The mornings are getting cooler. And I'm ugh, listen, I'm not against fall, but I could definitely live in eternal summer. Really, I just need to move to somewhere where it's eternal summer. Which, side note, I've never been looking to move to Florida ever. It never seemed appealing to me. But the past couple of months, I keep seeing stuff. I'm should I move to Florida? Because also there is some longboarding surf up north from what I've heard, but then also the ocean isn't super rough, you're on the Jaws break on Maui or anything. And I'm I always really like swimming and calm water, and that was something that I struggled with the ocean in Hawaii. Was that the water was always super rough and wavy, and I just would want to go and have a relaxing swim. And I've been seeing that you can get that in Florida. So anyways, I don't know. Maybe one day. I don't know. I've been looking at it. Anyways, so this is actually said at the end of our yoga class yesterday. We were in Shavasana, and she was just kind of saying some stuff. And to be honest, I wasn't fully listening. So I just was kind of getting grounded and centered in my own meditation. And then I heard her say, we're only hurting ourselves. And she said, anger, frustration, jealousy, we're only hurting ourselves. And it was such kind of like a light bulb moment in this sense of like, I just love when kind of concepts that I thoroughly believe in are said in different ways or like in different simplistic lights that's like so simply put, but so profound. And that's totally what I felt like what she said with this. And it's a concept that I think was really one of the biggest life lessons in life that I've learned. So thus far, like one of the biggest perspective shifts that I've ever had. And that was really all she said about it, but it really sparked this whole thought process to me. And it made me think, like I just said, about how much that perspective has helped me in my day-to-day and helped me be so much more of a happier individual and be so much more less of a victim to my environment. And it's really so straightforward when you actually think about it. But I just feel like it's so easy and so common and almost effortless to just identify with your emotions, right? When you feel angry, when you feel frustrated, when you feel jealous, it's so easy just to be consumed and engulfed by that emotion. It's kind of like I want to explain it like when you're a fish in a fishbowl, you don't really even know that you're in a fishbowl because you're in the fishbowl, so you can't see where you are. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I feel like with our emotions when we let our emotions run our day or run the course of our day, or we just get so consumed by these negative feelings that could be fleeting that we could allow to pass through us, but we identify. And it's kind of that same concept of that fishbowl analogy. It's like you don't even realize that. Yeah, I mean, you know you're frustrated, but you don't even necessarily understand that like you can step away from that frustration. You just become one with the frustration and identify with that and just declare that as your state of being instead of kind of creating space with it like I always say and saying I'm feeling feelings of frustration or I'm feeling jealous or I'm feeling anger, becoming aware of that, being able to go back to the root of why you're feeling like that. And then you can create some distance between your identity, your being, your state of frequency and that emotion that went through your body. You know, and there's just like a very, very, very big difference between having the awareness that you're feeling a certain emotion so then you can kind of deal with it objectively and constructively and just more so from a higher consciousness state of point with that newfound awareness. There's a very big difference between that and then just completely identifying with these negative emotions and kind of running rogue and just being in this piss pot mood without really any opportunity for light within you because you're just so stuck in identifying in those dark, heavy, negative emotions. And that's why I love the way she said it when she said this in yoga was just that we're simply only hurting ourselves. It's just so true. When we feel those emotions of frustration, jealousy, anger, hatred, irritability, we are the ones that end up having to carry that burden now. Like, that's it. That's really all it is. It's like, here's a perfect example. If you're stuck in traffic, a very common, emotion from that is feeling frustrated or feeling irritable, right? But that absolutely did nothing but just you disturbing your own state of being, right? You being frustrated or you being irritable, that didn't make the traffic clear faster, right? It didn't make the traffic go away any faster or help the situation. It simply only ruined your time waiting. And kind of with that hand in hand, it's not the traffic, right, that's actually inherently making you frustrated or irritable. It's your reaction to the traffic that's bringing you those emotions, right? Because every action has a reaction. So it's not the action itself, it's your perception around the situation, which then dictates your reaction, which sparks your emotions that you feel. Because here's another, to prove that, basically, that it's not the traffic, it's your reaction too. Think about if you're with your friends and you guys are having so much fun, you're on a way, I was going to say you're on the way to a concert, but that's probably not a good thing. But let's say you and your friends are just having fun, you're mindlessly driving around, you got ice cream or something, and you just have time to kill and you're laughing, you're blasting music, you get stuck in traffic, you're like, hell yeah. Like maybe you might not even really notice or care about it to get angry because you're just having so much fun in the moment. Or maybe you're stoked that you're stuck in traffic because it's being able to prolong your time having to get home so you can jam out for longer in the car. Right? So it's not the actual traffic that's inherently making you frustrated and irritable and that it's just so valid and warranted that you're feeling irritated. No, it's your reaction to the situation, because the same country, in the same traffic line, the car behind you may need to get somewhere at 7 p.m. and only has 10 minutes to get there, and he's stressed because he has to get there in time. So then like he's stressing and irritable. So it's like the same constant, which is the traffic, but that's a perfect example of how you can see it's kind of a neutral situation because it's super situational based on everyone's subjective position. Depending on where you are, the traffic can be a good thing or a neutral thing, or it can be a completely bad thing depending on the situation. But again, either way, it's not the actual situation of the traffic, it's your reaction to that's making you feel a certain way about it. And so that when you're feeling frustrated about situations similar to that, you're doing nothing but simply just ruining your own experience in that reality that you're in that you cannot change, right? Especially when it's something out of your control. It's like, great, you just got irritated about traffic and it's about something that you can't control. So it's like, you might as well do what you can to enjoy your time waiting, because it just doesn't make sense not to. And it kind of also makes me think of the quote, worrying doesn't stop the bad things from happening, but it prevents you from enjoying the present or something like that. I forget what the quote is exactly, but something along the lines of like, worrying doesn't help prevent any bad things from happening. It just prevents you from actually being able to enjoy the now and what you are experiencing. And I think it perfectly goes hand in hand with this. It's like all these negative emotions, like they really are so not self-serving. They're really only self-deprecative. And like, don't get me wrong, I get it, dude. Like, especially like I just understand, like sometimes you want to kind of marinate in your frustration or in your negative emotions and you need to feel that. And like, please, by all means do. I'm not saying that like you don't ever need to feel those things or like they're never warranted, but like do what you can to not sit in them for too long, right? Like feel them, allow yourself to feel them. You have the right to feel them. But like, if you want to be moving forward in your life, you need to allow yourself to get the emotions to pass through you, right? Rather than like sitting in them and marinating them and like having them ruin your whole freaking day. And this also makes me think of, which I don't have my phone on me right now. I wish I could read it, but my boyfriend and I do this little app. It's called Agape, which if you're in a relationship, I highly recommend it. I think it's so amazing. You basically it gives you a new question every day and you answer it, but like your partner can't see your answer until they answer it. So you have to actually both participate in order to see what each other said. And there's just basically a bunch of different questions about like exploring your relationship or getting to know your person more, or like seeing how you guys can be better partners. I personally love stuff like that. It's kind of like your own like fun form of like couples therapy in a way. Like I just feel like it's really deepened our relationship in a really great way. And I forget now it was like, what's something that you could do to like drastically, what is something you could do, to drastically improve your quality of life? And for me, I said time management, because I don't think I'm the best at managing my time. And he said something that it was super profound. Again, sometimes it's like the simple things, because I'm over here, I talk like 15,000, I have to give 15,000 words just to explain one point in order for me to like bring it home. And so I really appreciate when someone can just tell me like 1 to 3 sentences and I'm like, that was really all that I needed to hear and you like perfectly got the point across. Anyway, he said something along the lines of the fact of like to understand and to really live with the full understanding that there is an end to life. And so we should be enjoying every part of it, even the parts that feel less favorable and not as enjoyable. Like it's still worth enjoying them essentially, because we don't have, an infinite amount of time on this earth. And I was like, Letty, that was the cutest thing I've ever heard in my life. And it was so freaking true. And I don't know why I just feel called to bring that to you guys, because I just feel like it goes hand in hand with all of this. It's like life is too short to just constantly be marinating in all these negative emotions, or like have these quote unquote less favorable situations due to our own perceptions, like completely ruin our time. It's like, we don't know how much time we have on this earth. We're here regardless. So it's like, why would you not want to do what you can to enjoy every single bit of it? Like even something that's less favorable, like it's still a new experience. You're still being able to live life, which is such a privilege, because there's so many other people that didn't wake up today. You know what I mean? It's like, and I don't mean to be morbid, but it's just so true. It's like we just sometimes get so lost in all these negative emotions where it's doing nothing but hurting ourselves, hurting our own time on this earth, taking away from precious enjoyment from this time. And it's like, how many times have we been in shitty situations? And it's like, we can dwell in it, or we can laugh about it with the people that we're with and like make fun of the situation, just like make the best of it. And I just feel like that's the only answer that makes sense to me. You know what I mean? It's like we just don't know how much time we have on this earth. So it's like we might as well do what we can to find some sense of enjoyment, of lessons, of just self-serving nature in everything that we're experiencing, as opposed to feeling like things are a waste of time, or we're frustrated for a certain reason, or we don't want it to be XYZ. It's like, why don't we just accept our current reality and just kind of be able to bask in it and be able to pull all the positives that we can out of it, or turn it into a positive? Because at the end of the day, it's another gift of simply a life experience that we have the privilege to experience. Another example, Let's say you see someone that has something you want, right? It triggers jealousy, a very common and a very raging emotion. But again, the harsh truth, you being jealous doesn't take away that thing, that person, that situation, that experience from the other person. Right? You being jealous doesn't take away what made you feel jealous in the first place, right? It simply is just, and I love when I use this word because I think it does such a perfect job at creating the visual for you guys. It does nothing but pollute your own energy. You just put a bunch of mud in your own water, right? You being jealous didn't go dump mud in that person's water. They don't even know you're jealous. It doesn't even affect them if you're jealous, which is the biggest thing that made me be like, dude, why am I hurting myself by just being in all these negative emotions where it's not even doing anything, but it's just shooting myself with the foot? It's like, it just doesn't make sense to me. So it's like, you being jealous, that didn't go put mud in their water. It just put mud in your own water. And now you're pissed. Now you're irritable. Now you feel like you're stuck and that you're not good enough. And you're never going to be able to achieve all these things. It triggers all this negative self-talk. Cool. Like, look what you just did. Now you being jealous just shot yourself in the foot. It didn't tear that person down, which I hope no one ever even has that intention to tear someone down. But I'm just trying to say, like, it's literally doing nothing but hurting yourself by being in these energies, right? It does nothing but put you in a lower state, lowers your frequency to ever being able to come into alignment with something similar to what they have, because now you're just like in this ugly, low, negative, stuck, stagnant energy that's really only taking you further away from either experiencing some sense of dream life that clearly you're admiring in the person next to you. Let's say someone says something that makes you mad. Again, they might not have even no freaking clue that you're angry if you don't say anything to them, like, because that's so common, because so many of us don't like confrontation. Someone says something that pisses you off and you choose to not say anything, right? You choose to not mitigate it or hash it out. So now it's stuck within you. You capture that energy and now you're feeling angry, and now that's what's manifesting and marinating within you. Great. That person is completely unaffected by that. You just shot yourself in the foot. So it's now like, great. Now they just said something shitty to you and it made you disturb your own state of being. Like, talk about giving your power away. Do you see what I mean? Like, when I really bring this through, it's like, it just really genuinely makes no sense. Like, it's illogical once you go through this whole podcast episode to be someone that just marinates in frustration, jealousy, anger, hatred, irritability, all those things. It's like, it does nothing productive. It just simply makes it's you declaring that you are a victim of your environment. It's you saying that, you know what, I'm going to take zero responsibility for the emotions that I feel, the thoughts that I have, my state of energetic being. I'm not going to take any responsibility for it. I'm simply just going to be a leaf in the wind and just completely absorb any sort of energy or whatever that's thrown my way throughout my day. That's such a vulnerable way to live. And don't get me wrong, there's strength in vulnerability, right? But the right kind of vulnerability. This is just like a completely exposed vulnerability, in my opinion. Like, you're energetically, this is a good term I'm just coining. You're energetically exposed, right? That's an unsafe place to be when you're energetically exposed, right? If you want to take control of your life, if you want to step back into your power, if you want to be able to ensure that you feel your best every day, you need to not be energetically exposed, right? You need to protect your energy. You need to declare your energy. You need to embody the energy that you want to embody, and you need to not let other things or people or situations or anything derail you from that, because that is truly the only way that you're going to be able to see progress going forward, which I wanted to do a whole other podcast episode on this, because I've been like feeling like that's been like a really big message that's been coming through from the uni to me lately, is how important it is to really declare your energy, and more importantly in the sense of not letting things basically removing the things in your life that take you away from your power or make you feel like shit. Like, you need to do what you can to put those blinders on, the blockers on. You need to protect your energy at all costs, because that's what's so important, because the energy that you take on your day with is the actions that you then decide to take, which then dictate your life. So it's like, you can't have all these negative people or whatever just completely be able to manipulate your energy at the drop of a hat. It's like, you are not in your energetic power. You are not someone who is holding your own self responsible. You're not someone who has the creator pen in your hand for your own life. Like, you are someone that has completely just fallen victim to their environment, which is a very unpredictable, unstable place to be in. I'm not gonna lie, I'm liking this podcast episode more than I thought I would. I feel like this is hitting so hard, especially for me too. It's just like, we need to understand that your energy, your emotions are up to you. And if you want to give your power away, if you want to be fallen victim to your environment, if you want to be very energetically exposed, if you want to be easily manipulated, then I guess that's your own business. But it's like you can't live like that and then expect to feel like you are in control of your life, or expect to feel like you are the creator of your life, because you kind of just can't have both. Like, if you want to be the creator of your own reality, if you want to be able to paint your own dream picture of your life, like, you need to be in the driver's seat when it comes to your emotions and it comes to the energy that you are embodying. And that comes from you having more awareness with the emotions that you're feeling. And it comes back to you choosing self-serving emotions, perspective, energies to allow you to continue moving forward in life, to feel your best, to keep moving forward. Oh my gosh. And it's 11:11. You guys, I literally can't make it up. The one time I look at the clock throughout this episode, it's literally 11:11 a.m. Wow. That's just, I love that. That means we're in alignment. Uni's affirming, like, you tell them, all y'all people watching, this is serious. If you resonate, this message was meant to find you. If you feel like you need to hear this is the Uni speaking through me. I also want to say before this episode, I may or may not, I've been kind of getting into, let me backtrack. I've never really resonated with like sage or Palo Santo, which, if you don't know what those are, it's kind of like a spiritual tool, I guess, if you will. But basically it's like you light them and then smoke comes, and it's just as another way to like clear energy throughout the space, and just kind of like as an energetic reset. It will help you like get rid of any negative or lower energies. And I've been using Palo Santo lately because I actually had some coincidentally, and I felt really called. I was meditating the other day, and that like was a download, was like, light some freaking Palo Santo. I don't know if it's Palo Santo. Anyway. And so I was like, okay, F it, like I'm going to go light some. And so since then, I've been doing it every few days, just kind of clearing my space, clearing my energy. And before this episode specifically, I cleared my energy. I specifically use it to clear any blocks or lower energies in my chakras. And I specifically like took a second on my throat chakra and I said, please get rid of any chakra blocks and any lower frequencies. And I was like, I call in higher consciousness, inner knowing, and the universe to speak through me. And I feel like that 11:11 for some reason was just so confirmation to me that like this was just the Uni speaking through me, hopefully to really give you guys a message that the collective really, really needs to hear. So for the affirmation for today, this is kind of a 2-in-1. I have 2 sentences written down. I don't really know why, but it just felt right to me. So for the affirmations for today, it says, I choose to not let negative emotions get the best of me. I choose self-serving perspectives to stay close to light energy. I choose to not let negative emotions get the best of me. I choose self-serving perspectives to stay close to light energy. Whew. I feel empowered. Also, I ran out of cold plunge before this, which is also why I'm a little bit juiced. Did I already say that? I don't know if I already said that. But apparently, cold plunging gives you 2 times the amount of dopamine, which is the same amount of dopamine that cocaine releases, which is insane. But when you cold plunge, it stays for 2.5 hours, whereas opposed to cocaine, you get like a really big spike after 9 minutes and then it's a harsh crash. So if you have any opportunity to get into cold water, I've been raging about this on my Instagram, on YouTube, and now I'm bringing it to this podcast. But if you have any opportunity to take a cold shower, get in cold water, if there's a river near you, a lake, anything, get your booty cheeks in cold water. Like, it feels so invigorating and just lights me the frick up. Also, I still have seats open on my Bali retreat. So I'm hosting a Bali retreat May 2nd to May 9th of 2024. We're going to be doing a lot of personal development work. We're going to be doing journaling, meditation workshops. I've doubled the amount of workshops in this Bali retreat in comparison to my Costa Rica retreats. There's also going to be a group workout. If you're someone who's wanting to travel and meet new girlfriends, I highly recommend considering this retreat, because when you travel with people, and especially when you're traveling with people who already have such similar interests to you, if you guys are part of this community, like clearly you guys love so many of the same things. Like, it's so empowering to be in the same space with people who want to better themselves and also have similar goals and hobbies as you and all this sort of stuff, just similar interests. It's just such an amazing container. It's so empowering, and it's such a beautiful opportunity also to travel to Bali and see such a beautiful country. I'm personally so excited. Like, I've been wanting to go there for so long, And I know it's just going to be a really magical place. And I feel like it's the perfect place to go to for a retreat. I know it's quite the hike. It's pretty far away, but I just know it's going to be so worth it. So it's an 8-day retreat. The full itinerary is going to be down below. We're also going to be doing a lot of adventure stuff as well. So if you're interested, definitely check out the link in the show notes. I'm sending you guys so much love. If you guys enjoyed this podcast and would like to support it in a way that is completely free to you, the best way to do so is to leave a rating or review. We're really close to 500 reviews on Spotify. I think we have like 50 reviews left in order to get there. That's my goal for the end of the year. So if you haven't already, I would love it if you could take a couple seconds, just leave a little rating. That would mean the world. Also, if you want to screenshot this, share it with friends, family on your social media, that'd be amazing. Make sure to tag me. I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen so much. I'm sending you so much freaking love, and hopefully I'll see you in the next Epi. Peace out.